It's been some time since I've made a video, so I decided to do a video on making homemade pastrami with the Smokin-it 2 smoker. Here's the final result, so let's go ahead and get this video started and show you how you can also make this delicious homemade pastrami in your house. For our pastrami seasoning, we're going to use 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. We're going to use a 1/4 cup of Hungarian paprika, 3 tablespoons of the coriander seed. We're going to use 3 tablespoons brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of rainbow peppercorn, which is white, black, green, and pink peppercorns, or you could just use 1 tablespoon of white peppercorn and 2 tablespoons of black if that's all you can find. 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard seed, 8 cloves of minced garlic, and we're also going to use 24 pumpkin cookies. No, just kidding. My wife made these pumpkin cookies, and they are fabulous, but they are not going in the pastrami. They'll be going to my belly. Okay, anyways, we're going to take the coriander seed, the mustard seed, and the peppercorns, and put them in our handy-dandy spice grinder, a.k.a. coffee grinder, Mr. Coffee Grinder. Just don't use your wife's coffee grinder to grind spices because she'll hate you. Use it for nothing but spices. We grind them up. We're going to throw that in with our kosher salt, paprika, our brown sugar, and our 8 cloves of finely minced garlic. We're going to mince it up real fine, and this is what we end up with. And this is going to be our pastrami seasoning. We have our pastrami seasonings that I showed you what we're going to do with that. And we have 2 corned beefs that we've been soaking for 12 hours. We did like 4 water changes, cold water, soaked them in the fridge for 12 hours just to get some of the salt. A lot of guys will take beef brisket and do their own pickling spices, juniper berries, different things. I kind of cheat. I get the corned beef, I just soak them real good to get some of the salt out. So I soak them like 12 hours, do a couple water changes throughout in the fridge. So there's our corned beefs, roughly they're the same size, so they'll smoke nicely together. And our seasoning, we're going to season them up and get them ready for the next process. Okay, I've taken all the seasoning, seasoned both sides of the corned beef, which were with the pastrami seasoning. Packed it, smashed it, packed it, flipped it, rolled it, both sides, seasoning everywhere. Got to clean the kitchen. That's what you want. You want it just packed on there. Now what I did is cover that with plastic wrap. I'm going to take this second sheet pan. I'm going to lay this on top. Then we're going to take this whole thing over to the refrigerator. We're going to load this up in the fridge. Let's get this loaded. Load this up in the fridge. Got the plastic wrap. We got our second pan there. Then we want to weight this down. Add some weight. Gallon of milk. It's a good amount of weight. What else do we got? We got some colas. Got some sodas. We're going to load the sodas. Push that milk back a little bit. We just want to weight this down, make it heavy, add as much weight as possible. What we're going to do is we're going to let that sit with all the weight on it for 12 hours. It's 7:29 at night. We're 7:30 at night. We're going to run that for 12 hours with the weight on, and then we're going to move on to the next step. So it's 7:30 in the morning. I got the smoker prepped. I got the foil on the top of the firebox and on the bottom, make a little easier cleaning. Favorite beverage in the little tin there, just to add some moisture. I got 5 ounces of hickory in the box. Always have your drip pan ready. I'm sorry, it's not 5. I have 4 ounces of hickory in the box. My 2 plates there for my brisket have been sprayed, lubricated. Got my temp probe, which I got it set to 163. That's what we're going to smoke it to, internal temperature 163. I don't know, it should take about 8 hours or so. So I'm going to go grab the meat. Now while I was setting this all up, I threw the meat in the freezer so it could chill, get hard a little bit. The reason for that is I want it to smoke nice, have time in the box to really get some smoky flavor. and that takes a little time. And if it's too warm or room temp, it'll tend to come up to temp too fast and not take on that smoky flavor I'm looking for. Alright, finally we're here. Got our 2-season flats in the smoker. Got our temp probe on top. Like I stated before, I had them in the freezer for a little while just so they could firm up, get a little bit of a longer smoke. I got them fat cap up. I don't know, I'm not really rendering fat at the temps I'm going to have, but I always do fat cap up. So we're going to close her in, close that in, get this locked down. We're going to come up here and set it for 200 degrees. I'm going to go 200 today. And there we go, 200. And we're going to let this smoke till we reach an internal temperature of 163. Be back shortly. With anything, when you're smoking it, you can't go by time. We finally hit the temp I was looking for, 163. We're going to take a look. It's been 9.5 hours. Sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's longer, but let's take a peek and take a look here. There we are. Oh, they look great. I'm going to get them pulled out and take a little peek and go on to the next step of making this all into a nice pastrami. After I brought the pastramis out of the smoker, I foiled them, left them sit on the counter for about an hour while they were foiled, by maybe an hour and a half, let them cool down a little bit. Then I vacuum sealed them to put pressure on them. They're going to go in the refrigerator for 24 hours, and they're going to sit in that fridge for 24 hours. If you don't have a vacuum sealer to do this, you could do like we did earlier in the process, cover them, throw another pan on them, weight them down. You just want to put some pressure on the pastrami again for 24 hours. So these are going to sit for 24 hours after they rest in the fridge, and we'll get on to the steaming process and finally be almost finished up here. Well, it's been a day that we had the pastramis vacuumed and sitting in the fridge. So I've preheated the oven now, 275. I put one in the roaster on a rack with like an inch or so of water. I'm going to cover that tightly with foil, and we're going to steam that for about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. And then it'll be ready to finally serve. The other one that was vacuum packed after resting in the fridge for the day, put that in the freezer. It'll freeze great, and pull it out and steam it whenever, you know, after it thaws, whenever we want to do hot pastrami sandwiches again. So there our pastrami is. It's getting ready to go into the oven. Like I said, 275 on bake, some water on the rack, going to seal it up good and let it go for like 3 to 4 hours. And there it is, steamed, ready to be sliced. I ran it up to 183 degrees. I like things in odd numbers, threes. Actually, you want to go between 180 and 185. Anywhere in between there should be good. It actually steamed almost 3 hours, 2 hours and 50 minutes. I used my temperature probe, ran it up to 183, 2 hours and 50 minutes. Go by temperature. We're going to slice it up and show you the finished product. And there you have it, some beautiful pastrami sliced up nice, thin. Little Jewish rye with that, a little cabbage or sauerkraut, and a spicy mustard. And that would be perfectly fabulous. There it is. Came out great, delicious. Enjoy. Hope you have great success with your homemade smoked pastrami.